Okay, we are live on YouTube at least.
Hey, Jen. So I'm going to suggest we wait a couple minutes since we still have people coming in.
Sounds good.
Great. Okay. Okay. So Jen, just so you know, Warren did, he had some technical difficulties last Wednesday getting onto the meeting. So I just sent Becca an email to try to give him a call and see if we can assist him in getting on. But
Okay,
I think we can go ahead and start if that, I don't see too many other people popping in.
Lars was here. Now I don't see him.
Oh, you're right. He has dropped off.
You want to give it just one more minute, see if we can't get Lars and Warren on?
Yeah, I will label folks too. That way our public knows who is actually on the PAC meeting.
It's great to see everyone without face masks on. See your whole face.
And Desi or Wes, do you know if you're anticipating other folks? No? Okay, excellent.
Well, maybe we should start.
Okay.
Okay, we'll just go ahead then.
Yeah, and if you could read like we did last Wednesday,
Will
that
do.
middle paragraph. that'd be
Got
great,
it.
Thanks.
Okay, consistent with Executive Order N2920, in-person participation by the public will not be permitted and no physical location from which the public may observe the meeting will be available. Remote public participation is allowed using the Zoom program. I see one more square popping up there. So,
I think that's Lars rejoining us. So.
okay, great. We can call the meeting to order and start with a very slow roll call, waiting for Lars's box to pop up. We have Jeff, got Margie. I am also here. Warren hopefully will be joining us in a bit. And Lars, can you hear us? Lars may be there.
Yeah, his box is there, but not his picture, which is what he normally is able to do.
Okay, well, that can just be added on after he actually joins us. Do we have any public comments regarding items not on the agenda? Go ahead.
We have received one comment for what is on the agenda, but not for items not on the agenda.
Okay, and I'm not sure who this is, but Terry?
Great.
Hi, I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Terry and I'm new to the Board of Directors for the Community Center and working on the Patrick Amio calendar. So I'm interested in what you're doing in many reasons, but I just thought I'd introduce myself. That's it.
Great, thanks. Nice to see you, Terry. I'll move ahead. Do we have any statements of conflict of interest? No, let's move on to our regular agenda item, the Black Lives Matter mural and graphics project. Discussion and direction regarding potential graphics installation on Weeks Way or another city location in support of this movement. Do you girls want to write or read your statement? Is that how you guys want to start today? Okay, Desi and Adana and Katie. I don't know if all three of you are going to be speaking. Go ahead.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Adana Okiwelu, and our group would like to paint Black Lives Matter in the Central Plaza near the Peace Wall in Sebastopol. Our goal is to get this done as soon as possible to show our solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement. We would like to bring together community members and make this a fun, inspiring community project. Hopefully, we can turn this project into a teaching and learning experience that is inclusive for everyone. This project is important to us because we really want to bring unity and support to Sebastopol. We believe that if we get the community to get involved and show their support and really put some of their own creativity into the greater picture, not only will we form a tighter bond within the community, but we will inspire other cities to do the same. Having a permanent, beautiful piece of art located in such a central, meaningful area will hopefully raise awareness and spark conversations.
This movement to end police brutality and the oppression of Black people that has been prominent in America for nearly 4 centuries needs to be recognized in a permanent way in our town. When protests and conversations about brutality and oppression begin to fade, we need some reminder to continue to fight for change. Black Lives Matter is a movement, not a moment. We want visitors to come to Sebastopol to stop and appreciate our work. We want everyone to feel welcome and represented in this community. We need something that sparks conversation for everyone for a long time. When the youth in Sebastopol become the leaders of Sebastopol, we want them to be able to show their kids that they live in a place that stands up against injustice. We live in Peace Town, so we need our voices to be heard. If there's no justice, there can be no peace.
And we want to give a huge thanks for hearing us out and for supporting us on this. We appreciate you so much and what you do for our community. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm just gonna start a little bit of conversation here by first just saying that I'm really proud of your initiative and your leadership. And even going to last night's event that you did was just extremely moving and really inspirational. And so thank you for that. And thank you for this. And I don't personally believe that it's our role to tell you what to do here, but to listen and to learn and to support you in whatever way that we can as a group and as you head back to city council to make sure that this gets done. So thanks again for everything, and let's open it up to discussion between Margie and Jeff, who are here.
Yeah, I'd just like to add, pretty much mirror what you said, Jen. And two, I'm really thrilled to see students getting really active in this, particularly former students, Madonna, and it's very thrilling and uplifting and encouraging. So thank you very much for your time and your energies and your spirit and your emotions around this whole movement.
Yeah, thank you likewise for stepping up and stepping in and onward. Yeah, I think you have a lot of support.
Thank you.
And so one of the things that we had spoken about in the last meeting was our one suggestion, which would be the type of paint, because we saw the Barlow street painting really kind of flake off pretty quick after they did it. And so I did call Public Works this morning just to see if they had any paint. I didn't get a call back. I spoke to somebody who said the person I needed to speak to was Dante. So I don't know if that would even be something that you guys, city council might have a way to help you get some of the paint, the striping paint, the street paint that'll last a little bit longer. And
yeah, and
that's-
Jen, I can, if you want, I can jump in on that.
Absolutely,
So I also contacted Dante because it was suggested at the, one of the suggestions is to use crosswalk paint, which, the same kind of paint you would use for the striping in parking lots and for crosswalks, that kind of thing. It's made to stand up to road traffic over it. I have a call into Dante to understand what that paint is and the cost of that. The city council had asked this committee to move forward with assisting the youth that are interested in doing this project. They did also say that they felt this was an appropriate project to fund through the Art and Move Fund. At a minimum for obviously the materials is kind of one component of that that we can discuss today, but we do have an agenda item on the city council meeting tomorrow. So if there's any decisions or authorizations that need to be done, we'll report back to them tomorrow after this meeting on that. But yeah, Dante he's rarely out of the office, but he was on vacation on Wednesday. So I'm sure he's slammed. And since this is such a quick turnaround, but we should be able to get that information from him probably prior to tomorrow's city council meeting.
And Carrie, can I confirm that you said this would come out of the PAC budget, not the city council budget?
Correct. City council felt that the art fund, the city's art fund, was an appropriate thing for this art project.
So if we were going to set and approve a budget today without knowing the price of the paint, since neither of us could get in touch with Dante, how would we go about doing that?
I think what we'll do is I'll go ahead and research what those costs are. I think, so we had in the staff report, I outlined I think 3 or 4 different areas for the PAC to discuss with this group today to kind of work out some of the details. And let me just go over them. The one was the location, and I did send out to the PAC what Jen had sent to me beforehand. But if now is a good time, I can show it looks like the proposed, I don't know if it's a proposed location or the proposed location. And graphics. So the location, the concept, funding, and the city council can go ahead and approve funding for specific amounts at their meeting tomorrow. I think what this committee could do is, if it's, is talk about what the funding needs are with the group. And if it's materials or materials plus something else, that would be appropriate to discuss today. And then we can come up with the final numbers or an approximate sort of not to exceed, or here's what we think it will be for council tomorrow. And then lastly, if there's a liaison or two from PAC that wants to continue working with the group, to assign that out. So sorry for that long-winded, it's a very brief staff
Thank
report,
you.
but long-winded comment. Would you like me to, I don't know how you want to facilitate, Jen, do you want me to put up the graphics that you had sent to me earlier?
Sure, and if Desi or Adana wants to address the location and how they came to this spot.
So yesterday at the vigil, we did a little vote with the community, and we came to the conclusion that it would be best in the square, like right across in the cement in between the bricks. So that was the majority vote rather than in the parking lot.
Also, just adding to that, we felt like it might be a little bit better in this, actually in the square, just because we know the square really represents community, and like we have like the sign about the sister city and stuff like that. So I think that it would be a really good place to put it.
Great, I love it. Does anybody have any comments on the location?
I'm sorry if I could just back up for a moment, Jen.
Yes.
Again, I apologize that I wasn't able to make last Wednesday's PAC meeting. But I was just wondering, without backtracking too much about information provided before, I'm not really clear on the group. I'm assuming we have an Annalee group here, but I'm not really clear. So if you wouldn't mind apprising me a little bit on the group that's bringing this proposal up.
Does one of you want to explain, maybe Wes, the Black Lives Visibility Group?
Sure. A group of us have assembled, led by youth of color in Sebastopol that go to Annalee and also Santa Rosa High. And Katie, remind me again where you go.
I will be going to Annalee.
That's right. Yeah. So middle school going to high school. And then there's also a girl from Salmon Creek who's interested in getting involved too. And we met her last night. So it's, a group of youth and friends of them as well. And we've met a few times and just trying to figure out the best way to bring visibility to the city according to the people who are living here and who will be most affected and who will how they want to bring visibility is kind of the mission of the group. And I don't know if anyone else wants to say anything in the group about that.
And West, and what is your role, West?
Yeah, I'm a former teacher, current resident, and interested in visibility of this movement as well downtown, and wanting to do this responsibly and permanently. And I'm a volunteer.
Okay.
And I have a question, which is, has there been any outreach to other high schools? Trying to think of which, that, let's say Sebastopol students would be attending. I know there's Credo and there may be others. There's the art, it's at Santa Rosa High. There's the art group.
Mm-hmm.
One member is from that art group, Zohar, and she's not on this call, but I just sent her the link, so she may not be available to be on this call, but she goes there and is heading up the art part of the mural, which we're hoping to do after this. So this is kind of like what we're doing now in an urgent kind of call for joining this movement of visibility in towns everywhere. And then we also hope to do a beautiful mural that's going to be coordinated by a muralist, a teacher, and all the youth that want to participate. So this will be anybody, and there will be a bigger call to bring in more voices for that one, and opinions, and what kind of imagery, and connecting it to the community that exists here. And so, yeah.
And
that will happen.
where do you have a location in mind for the mural?
Yeah, well, somewhere really visible downtown. We had gotten ice cream after one meeting, and Desi and Adana, we were just standing by this wall, and it was a huge white wall on the other side of Mimi's. So it's like, I don't know what business is there, if anyone wants to chime in.
Thrive Yoga.
Thrive Yoga. So that would be cool if anyone knows any connections there. That huge white wall gets all this sun as the sun is setting, and it's just so bright, and you could see it from the 116, and it would be really sweet.
And are there any other schools that have been approached? Any other high schools?
I guess no official approaching, just through the network that exists that's already active, kind of like taking the leaders that already exist and the friends of those leaders, and kind of the network that exists. But maybe someone else wants to chime in there, like Desi, do you know?
I reached out. The organizer who helped me last night, she goes to Orchard View. So I talked to her about it, and I think she would definitely want to be part of this project, but I haven't reached out to like a whole school or like a whole art department, just because I know a lot of schools are closed right now. But I know an art teacher from Orchard View, so I could definitely talk to her about it. Yeah, I don't really know any other schools that are in Sebastopol, but I could look around and find out some more.
I even know an art teacher at my middle school that would love to help with this if that's any factor. She's completely like loving and wants to help the community. So
I think for the is it okay if I speak actually?
You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Sarah. I'm helping out with this group, helping with West and with Jen, kind of just like logistical side of the group and the piece. But and I think what would be, so once we get this kind of moving with the approval and kind of just like starting to move through with the mural specifically, takes a little bit more planning, and I think then we would want to like extend out an kind of like a larger invitation for more people, especially young youth, POC youth in this area is really important. If that for anyone who's wanting to kind of help out with this community piece and project. And there was also a potential for the mural on that Thrive Yoga wall, which we do have a connection to the owner of that building. We're kind of still in communication with them to see, but also potentially the Barlow, which we also have a connection through the owner to potentially do something there. So the location for the mural isn't 100% defined. We would love to have it very visible in downtown and like a place that is not tucked away on the side, but a place where people can really admire it and have that be for the community. And for the town square part of it, which is something that is been expressed by the group and others that we've spoken to, of just having more of like an urgency to get that kind of get that community project going sooner. And once we, after this meeting and then tomorrow's meeting, to really create an event, to create like a Facebook and maybe even a virtual poster, and we can start plugging into other, to more people to get involved, to be able to, be a part of that as well. Because yes, like as Desi was saying, the square is a place for many communal gatherings to happen. And so that would, we just really think it would be so lovely to bring everybody there and have it there in the square for it to be visible. So, and yeah, just wanted to say those little bits.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to say just organizationally, so it seems like there's 6 areas to go over: design, funding, logistics, materials, liaison, and location. Seems like that's been settled. And I also want to just emphasize, Adana said that the goal was something permanent and beautiful. And so I just want to emphasize both of those things. I really support that. In terms of permanence, that would be materials and using the most permanent paint. And I know Jen's worked really hard in researching that, and I really support that. I think that's respectful to have it permanent paint. And in terms of beauty, we have talked about in the permanent paint what colors it comes in. And so that's another thing to consider. I see in your mock-up, the letters are in white, which is interesting. So we did, there is a possibility that the permanent paint might be available in green and yellow. And no, you're shaking.
There are other options. And if I could have just spoken to Public Works, if we could just get the primary colors, we could make any color. But of course, it would have to be in that same permanent paint, so we can mix those. We cannot tint or mix anything into the white because these are either epoxy or latex street paints. So we can't add other, normal house paint into it. But if we could get, there's red, blue, these are all really simple colors that the Public Works does use on the street. So if we just got primary colors, we'd have the full spectrum and we could make any color. So
be mixed, these colors.
I can't imagine that they wouldn't if they're all the same type of paint.
I don't know. I don't know if there's special applications. So that would be, we're talking about the logistics of putting it. But anyway, just for your design, to keep that in mind.
Desi or Donna, do you want to share? So the white letters that you see, do you want to share more, Desi, about the vision of bringing color more into that?
Yeah.
And why it was chosen?
So we kind of decided on the white because we really want people to be able to come in and paint within the letters or around the letters. And so we thought that white would be a good base for that. And then you can really, if people wanted to fill it in with color, they would really easily be able to. Whereas if we used yellow, it might not work as well. So that's kind of what the white is about.
I just want to comment on the symbolism of white as about your background.
Actually, just as a side note, I did speak with some of the organizers of the Seattle Black Lives Matter street painting, and their base was also a plain white, and then they painted on top of that. And what's on the top of this PDF that we're looking at here is what they sent to us as far as how to lay it out and to get that font perfectly, and even the spacing between each letter. So I have a very clear original large version of this. So it's going to really help these guys actually lay it out, put your little marks, use a chalk line, and then you've got your edges perfectly. So they were really excited to send us this blueprint and help us so we can simply lay it out in that area or in any area. So this was their size. We can just cut it in half for whatever simple math we can do as well. So this is a lot of similarities between from their, a lot of their suggestions too. So
Thank you.
I have a few questions, if I may.
ahead.
So I just wanted to be clear about the location here in the plaza. So I see it on this walkway that runs kind of angled through the center of the plaza, correct? Is that correct? Yes, okay, so I had not, thanks. So it's a very aerial graphic. Obviously, if people up above flying, helicopters, et cetera, would be probably able to see this. And obviously people walking through the plaza would be able to see it. I might have a little concerned about painting in those white letters. I'm not quite sure if you're going to have parameters for that, because to allow different people to get involved, to make sure the color choices are going to work and still be really visible. So I would just throw that out if that's being thought through, how people participate. I also appreciated Margie encouraging you to look into other schools or other art groups that might want to get involved in some way, whether it's just adding paint or laying it out or anything like that, so that as many groups as possible feel like they're being included. And then as far as another location, you mentioned a couple of walls. I think that's fantastic. If a wall can be found that is going to get a lot of visibility, particularly a lot of car trips, as well as pedestrians. So I would be really anxious to see what you could come up with that and what that particular mural, that design would look like.
Great, thank you, Jeff. We have a new person who's just joined the call. I'm not sure who it is because it's just a phone number. Can you hear me? Whoever just joined the call?
I don't have any comment.
Do you want to state who you are?
Oh, this is just Rebecca, planning staff.
Oh, hi. Okay, great. It sounds good. I thought maybe we
Thanks,
had
Jen.
Warren on the line, so I just wanted to make sure if he was here.
No, I was trying to facilitate that, but it doesn't look like it's worked.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right. And Jeff, I don't know if you got the other attachment that I sent. As far as the sidewalk goes, yes, the aerial view, you can see it really well, but I do believe that from standing in the plaza view as well, you can see I took a picture of kind of where the B would be, kind of shooting down. I don't know if that attachment's there, but.
Okay, I'll look for that. Thanks, Jen.
Mhm.
I have a comment and question about budget. Is that okay, Jen?
Yes.
Okay, so I heard, which I'd heard for the first time, that the discussion was that the whole funding would come from the PAC. And I would like to say that there are some members in the PAC who are reluctant to spend much money, not myself, but I know that some people are, beyond just sculptures and commissioned work in that way. And I also am concerned in terms of the amount of what it would cost to get really permanent paint and to get colors. I just would like that there not be limitation because of funding and getting the right paint. And so I'm wondering if there might be additional sources of funding, if the city might also put in some funding, as I know that the PAC is part of the city, but also directly from the city, some funding or other possible sources of funding, just so there's not a difficulty in having enough.
Well, I would say as far as that goes, Margie, what my understanding would be for today, we could possibly say, do you have the budget that West sent over as well? Because if we were just speaking about the street project, the sidewalk project, and that budget comes in around $500, if they could purchase this paint through Public Works, there would be a bigger discount than purchasing it, say, at Home Depot. Save some money there. And if we said something along the lines of, we'll say yes to the $500 budget, up to and exceeding 1,000, and we could just pass that to City Council saying, yes, we would do that today, that would at least be one step to help these guys move forward back to City Council. And then possibly they don't even have a wall yet. So I think we could push the mural part to the August meeting, which is still just around the corner. If they can get a wall, maybe we could pass a budget for that at that time. Does that make sense?
So when you say 500, I mean,
did you see the budget that?
Yeah, no, I didn't. And so were you able to get a quote? Because last week you weren't. So I don't know what.
I tried on Friday. Public Works is closed on Friday, and this all just happened so fast. I started calling Public Works this morning early, and it didn't happen. Sounds like Carrie also tried to reach out. Dante wasn't available, so no quote at all. But
so and I actually just got a response from Dante.
Great.
And so and what he has is he has a quote from a past purchase where and it looks like for yellow curb, red curb, white curb, the white paint is about $16 a gallon. The red is about $23 a gallon. So it's not hugely prohibitive, and that is actual, what they use to paint red curbs and crosswalks and things like that.
That's definitely
and that is
That's great.
Sorry, that is a water-based paint, so which makes it a little bit easier to clean up and handle, and not and a little bit less toxic and safer.
And this is the paint that's used for the crosswalks. Yes.
I think it's what they use for painting in parking lots and curbs and things like that.
Oh, but not where there's.
So it's not the stuff with the reflective in it. So if you're doing a crosswalk, you have little pieces of silica and whatnot in it, so that it's actually shiny and reflective when headlights hit it. I did not ask him for that because I assumed it, and if I assumed wrong, please let me know. But I sort of assumed that it wouldn't need the reflective nature to it.
No, we're asking about the striping paint. Yes, so
yeah.
We're talking about the right thing. Yeah, I believe, Margie, this is what we were talking.
Just want the absolute strongest, most permanent. Yep. That's my feeling. So I think it's great, fine, from my opinion, for the PAC to agree to a certain amount of money, and it sounds like that wouldn't be an issue in terms of the amount. So there's no special application. It's just painted on and it dries, and that's it. It doesn't have to be.
That's my understanding. Yes.
Or any special way.
That's what I understand. Yes.
Okay, that's terrific.
Do you guys have any comments about the concept at all? So we can kind of touch on that really quick. I feel like
PAC members?
Yes.
I think it's just very representative of the majority of people and citizens in Sebastopol and the West County for that matter. So I have no qualms whatsoever about this project. I think it's really thrilling. I think your suggestion, Jen, at kind of separating out the one that goes on the ground in the plaza from the potential mural on a vertical wall makes sense. And to try to give this group a green light on the one on the plaza ground first so they can perhaps continue with that makes a lot of sense as well. So I'm definitely for that. As far as the font's very clear, very easy to read, makes sense to me. If we're going to go with the Public Works colors that are offered, I think I heard red, yellow, and white. A little limiting, but I guess that give you orange too, right?
Well, if they have the handicap blue, that's another primary color that we could use. We could get a couple gallons, mix it up. I think we'd be pretty set in
Okay.
mix and
Yeah, that
match
makes sense
just a few
too.
of those.
Okay.
So I think to me, the design and so on, and the organization of participation seems to me the group is taking care of that. And I think it's great. I support this project. I hope that there's like organization about how you're going to have participation and involvement. I know Jen was talking about maybe handprints or something, but just so it's very clear before to everyone, before you start doing it, how you're going to organize people, your group, but also anyone else that might be interested and so on, who would be at the plaza by chance. So terrific.
Yeah, and I think if I have a couple of suggestions on that, one is, and this is sort of separating out the sidewalk, which is kind of ready to go, the plaza painting. If you have ideas of when you would be doing this, that's certainly something that we can bring up tomorrow at the city council meeting, or if you know it right now. But I think in terms of timing to get the paint, I know what Public Works had sent to me was something that was shipped, and I don't know how long it took to get the paint. But so to get the materials on site. But if you do have an idea of when you want to do that, and we can talk about that today or at city council tomorrow. And we can certainly use signage, I think, on the plaza and on the city's website to help let people know when the actual event is taking place, in terms of having it be open to those who want to join. Desi, I don't know if you guys had any thoughts about that part of the organization.
Well, I was gonna be in charge of event planning, so I'm definitely gonna send out, once we get a date, send out a flyer on social media, because has just been the best way to get it across. We can also try and contact maybe like some press and do a press release about it. But yeah, just trying to get as many people to share it as possible. And we also want to make it as safe as possible. So we didn't know if we should divide it up into different times, have more people kind of like RSVP, so we know the amount of people who are coming, and really having a clear plan on either maybe we have an idea of how we want it to be colored or something like that, and we can be like, hey, this is how we would like it to go, so try and paint it this way or something like that. And we also talked about getting down the main letters, because it's gonna take a few coats, so putting down the first coat of the paint and then having more people come in and help after we've done that, so people can see kind of an outline of how it's gonna look. But yeah, just trying to reach out to as many people. I know I've been sent a lot of like artists who would definitely love to help out, so we can reach out to them too.
And I'm just curious, I'm sure there's a way, how logistically, how do the letters get blocked so that it's a clean line? What's the plan?
Jen.
Because of the, and this also is what I do for a living, write letters. So this is my absolute specialty. But for this one here, especially with this blueprint, measure it back, take these measurements, adjust it to the level of the sidewalk, and maybe take a little piece of chalk for each corner and then chalk line the rest. Easy hand line for a straight line on the outline, and then a roller on the inside. That would be my suggestion. But if they wanted to do something else, that's totally good with me. I think this is the type of thing where there's probably 10 right ways to do it. But from my experience, I would say that's easiest. And again, my specialty is doing large scale murals, especially letters. So this, I at least feel like I have a couple of good suggestions to give here.
Thank
but
you. And I'm
it's-
wondering if
Go
you,
ahead.
I would like to suggest that you be nominated for the liaison, if you were willing.
It would be an honor. That'd be fine. Thank you.
Mhm.
Um,
I'm also assuming the surface is going to be prepared somehow, cleaned, etc.
Yes, and actually last night after the vigil, there was people writing on it with chalk. So another great reason to maybe go in there really quick. I actually own a power washer too, so we could
Okay.
just power wash it off, let it dry.
And that may also be something that Public Works can help with as well.
Absolutely, I was
so,
thinking.
Yeah. So just to make sure, I know this is a somewhat informal item, but as a public meeting, I just want to make sure that we do, and before we do the nomination, take any public comment formally on the item. And then also if there's a liaison or a, and it could be separate motions, but make sure we do it through a formal motion second and
Okay.
whatnot.
So
I have
can
another question
Oh.
for Adana, Kai, and the rest of the group. Can you share a little bit what your timeline you're thinking about for the Black Lives Matter on the Plaza walkway? What is your thinking around that timeline?
Dara, you want to
Best.
answer that? Me?
Yeah.
I think we just have a few people going out of town, and otherwise we want to do it as soon as possible. And so we're trying to figure that out.
Mhm.
I think probably like we were kind of talking about late July, like at the end of July. Trying to keep it within this month so that it's not getting dragged on too much.
Mhm.
We're kind of hoping like the week of the 20th is that 20th is a Monday. So like, I think we were talking about like potentially having that, finding a time and day kind of within that week or something like that. It was a couple weeks from now.
Is it appropriate to make a motion, a proposal at this point?
Do we have any public comment before we make any motions? Okay, then I think it's all right to go ahead and proceed.
Then we,
ahead.
sorry, Jen, we did receive one public comment via email, which has been sent on to the PAC members, and we can post to the website. It was, let me open it so I can kind of summarize it. Sorry, it was from Zen Destiny. And it's several pages long, but I will, he was not in favor of this. He felt like it wasn't democratic, and that he just did not agree with the Black Lives Party platform. He felt it was somewhat communist, and I think that's, like I said, we'll post that comment to the public website so that it is recorded and part of the record. But that is the only public comment that we have received for this item.
So
All right.
have comments like that. Can they come forth to the city council and that be part of the decision-making process so they feel heard?
Yes, and I believe our city clerk has already forwarded that on to the city council members as well when she sent it to me to send to you guys.
Okay. Yeah, because I
Thank
think it's probably true. Although Jeff thought this was totally representative, I'm sure there is always people who will disagree.
Yes. That's
Carrie, is it okay to move forward now with motions or?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, you can close public comment with that. I just wanted to make sure we got that on the record.
I have one question, sorry, before we go. I love this. I love the location. I'm just wondering if you considered the retaining wall as you're making the curve near the Peace Wall. The retaining wall that's right there at Whole Foods across from the Peace Wall. And it might be something that you could also include in the mural, maybe the big mural over here and a little mural over there. Just an idea.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion that the PAC support this project and allocate a budget of up to, what'd you say, $500? If that's needed for
I think
the,
I said, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was saying, their budget said 500. I was saying we could agree, or we could possibly consider like up to 1,000 or not to exceed 1,500, or I think that was more of a discussion rather than
Sounds
a
like-
maximum of 500. I think 500 is a little bit low for this myself, but
Oh, I didn't know how much paint would be needed. It sounded
I
like,
don't either.
all right, so fine, 500 and a maximum at this point of 1,000. And if we need to reconsider it, that we do.
Great.
Second,
I'll second that.
All in favor? Say
Aye.
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 And actually, Jen, if you don't mind, can I go ahead and do a roll call vote for this?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I can even see who's here, so.
Yeah, that's exactly why. So Chair Verts,
Aye.
Vice Chair Mills-Tyson,
aye.
Committee Member Strucker,
Aye.
Committee Member Langberg, and I will say Committee Member Arnold. I don't believe he's here, but just in case, because I see new phone numbers. Okay, so he is still absent. I just wanted to check on that as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
So the motion passes 4-0.
Okay, great. We're good then? Or do I need to say anything? Okay.
Yeah, I think just to summarize, we have unanimous support from the PAC for this project with a recommended budget of not to exceed $1,000 for the plaza painting component of the project. I think, so we'll bring that forward. And if there is someone who from the PAC who's willing to attend tomorrow's city council meeting in case there are questions for the PAC, that would be great. If not, I will always do my best to represent this committees. So I think that's good for the plaza painting component of it. And I don't know if you, Chair, if there are further discussions for the mural.
I have another motion proposal.
My apologies.
That which is I propose that Jen be the PAC liaison for this project.
I second that.
Do you want to do a roll call again, or are we confirming that Lars and Warren are both not on this call?
Lars is here. He's in the lower right on my screen, but he is here when was available for the last vote. So I will go ahead and do a roll call vote. So, and this is to
Okay.
appoint Chair Verts as the liaison for this project. Chair Verts,
Aye.
Margie,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
and Lars.
Aye.
Okay, and that is unanimous as well.
Great, thanks. Okay, that's an honor to be the liaison for this, and thank you for that, Margie. And thanks everybody for the unanimous vote on that. If it's okay, I will attend the city council meeting as well tomorrow in case there's any questions.
Okay,
Excellent.
terrific. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Just, I wanted to ask a question just for my clarity and perhaps for others' clarity as well. Does the group that is proposing this, are you giving yourselves a name, or does that, not that really matters, but just in terms of communicating this to the public and other bodies, it might be helpful. So that's something to consider. And also, I just wanted to be really clear about the next steps. I know we discussed them, but we kind of talked about it in bits and pieces. And I just, for my own clarity, I'm wondering where this is headed next.
What do you mean headed next? This-
Is this now going, I mean, we've improved it as the Public Arts Committee. Is this now going again back to the City Council for their further consideration after our approval? And if not, then is this group then going to go ahead and full steam ahead?
My understanding is we are going back to the city council tomorrow.
Yes, and we actually have a agenda item already on that was posted last Thursday or Friday, whenever the council packet came out, for the city council so that they can discuss and take action tomorrow on the PAC's recommendation. So that is, I believe it's item number 7 on the agenda. So that'll be the next step, is to bring that forward. And while we obviously didn't have the visuals, we had enough to put in a staff report and note that the PAC was having a meeting today to discuss it, and that recommendations would be shared with them at the meeting tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, West and Carrie, for that.
So if there's any other items that we need to go into, I think we are pretty solid on what we were needing to talk about as far as our different subject matters within the agenda item. Is there any other comments or questions that we need to do before we wrap this up?
I don't think so. Jen, earlier you mentioned this will continue on to the next PAC agenda.
The mural, right. So I think that the mural wasn't at a stage where it's even available for us to really get too deep into that now. And we could just move right forward with the sidewalk painting today. So
Yes.
if that's okay with everybody else, yeah, we kind of separate that one subject into 2. Sidewalk, we're good. And then we bring back the mural idea and see where everybody's gotten by August. And then we talk about that then. Maybe we can push forward a budget, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see.
Good.
Okay, makes sense.
And just so everyone in this group knows, the PAC Public Art Committee meets the first Wednesday of the month at 10:30 to noon. And so the next, when Jen referred to the next regular meeting, that would be August 5th at 10:30, just so everyone can get it on their calendars.
Thanks for that, Carrie. Okay, if there's nothing else, I'd like to know if there's a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion, but I just wanted to kind of make just a parting comment. Again, just really, really happy and energized by this group's proposal, by your concept. I like that I heard this is not just a one and done movement, even here locally in Sebastopol. So yeah, I hope you'll continue to carry on throughout your high school careers with this and beyond. So thank you to your group, and Adana, so great to see you.
I'd like to ditto that, and thank you for your activity and actions. And Carrie, I just want to make sure on the agenda for August is also the artist support project, the lottery.
Yes, I think we had discussed at our last Wednesday that you were going to work on what that would look like.
Yes.
So, yep.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, I wanted to answer one question, which was what our name is, and I'm not exactly sure what everyone wants our name to be, but I think we've kind of been going by like Black Lives Matter Visibility Team or Group. So that's a safe way to refer to us at this time.
BLMVP. Okay.
Great. All right. Thanks. I'll also agree with the sentiment. I'm really proud of your leadership and initiative. All of you guys have just done a great job, and I'm so proud to be a part of this. So thank you guys so much, really. And on that note, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn this meeting.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay. Okay, that goes for it. We are closed. We are adjourned. Motion approved. Thank you so much. And we'll talk to all of you guys soon.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Check out the signs downtown, by the way, everybody.
I saw them yesterday. It was impressive.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Take care. Talk to you soon.
Right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.